the nuclear weapon and being emboldened. Just like Israel, maybe, huh? Who doesn't hesitate to strike any country they want without any fear of repercussion because Big Daddy America is there to protect them, right? All right, homies. Now we will take a look at predictive history, Trump's 5 reasons for the Iranian war. So the lecture was recorded on May 29th, 2024, so almost a year ago. Let's go take a look if it's accurate or not.
March 2027, okay? And Trump goes on TV, announces Operation Iranian Freedom, a full-scale U.S. invasion of Iran, along with Israel, Saudi Arabia as main partners, but the United Kingdom, UK will be involved, Australia will be involved, UAE will be involved, Poland will be involved. Okay, so you have many countries attacking Iran together. And Trump goes on TV and explains to the American public why the United States is fighting this war. And this is what Trump says. First, he says that for the past year, there have been violent protests in Iran. You have religious protests, you have political protests, you have ethnic protests. The Iranian people are sick of the Ayatollah. They are sick of the dictatorship. They want democracy. They want freedom. And
they want to take off their hijab too. You can forget this one. But if that came out a year ago, damn, that's super accurate because the protest started when, like couple months ago, and so it's super accurate, but it happened like way sooner than he predicted.
Response: the Revolutionary Guard are killing thousands of protesters. Iran is on the brink of civil war. Therefore, the United States has an obligation to protect the people of Iran.
What? Yo, that's super accurate, man. That already came out last year. Yo, it's super accurate.
Okay? The people of Iran are praying for freedom and democracy, and the United States, the world's greatest democracy, must give them democracy. Okay? So the first reason is freedom and democracy. Second, U.S. intelligence, along with Israeli intelligence, have discovered that for the past 2 years, Iran has been working very, very hard on developing a nuclear bomb. In fact, Iran is only 1 month away from having 3 nuclear bombs, so that New York City, San Francisco, and Los Angeles could all be destroyed. Okay? So to prevent this, we must strike first to stop Iran's nuclear program. Okay? Third, Iranian proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, many groups have been
just to make a point on this one, on the second reason, that's basically what they already done in June when the U.S. striked the nuclear facilities in June. So it's not happening all at once, but it's developing. Like the reason he's giving are developing on few months, over few months.
Disrupting shipping in the Middle East, both the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz. 40% of the world's oil passes through that region, mainly to East Asia, China, Japan, South Korea. Our global prosperity is at stake. We must go to war to protect these shipping lanes and ensure that the oil goes to China, Japan, and South Korea so that they can continue their economic prosperity. So the United States, as the world hegemon, has a responsibility to protect global prosperity. Okay? 4, Iran has been launching attacks against our allies, Saudi Arabia and Israel. Hezbollah has been violently attacking Israel, killing dozens of Israelis, innocent Israelis. The Houthis have been attacking Saudi Arabia oil fields, damaging the economy. we have an obligation to protect our allies, our friends in the Middle East, okay? And the last reason is we know for a fact that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps is a sponsor of terrorism. Last week in a mall, there were gunmen who went and killed 107 people. Our intelligence says that it was most definitely an Iranian operation, okay? So for these 5 reasons, we have decided to invade Iran. But don't worry, this invasion will be successful because we have a lot of allies. The UK, Israel, Saudi Arabia, all friends of this operation. Our special forces are already in the country looking for their air bases and their missiles. We can knock them out at the beginning of the war. Also, we have been in contact with Iranian opposition groups. They want to overthrow the regime. And when we help them, they will install democracy in the country. Our American military is the greatest in the world. In 1991, our military defeated Saddam Hussein in 100 hours. In 2003, our military defeated Saddam Hussein in less than 3 weeks. To prove that we are the greatest in the world, we will defeat Iran in only 2 weeks. So do not worry. We will be strong in protecting democracy, freedom, and global prosperity. Okay? So that's what Donald Trump will say.
Yo, it's kind of crazy how accurate this is. Let's juxtapose it with the speech Trump did yesterday.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Yeah, how is that protecting American civilians? Like I don't get it. I mean, that point is so ridiculous. Like, how is Iran a threat to America? There is it's not even remotely a convincing argument.
Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years.
Yeah, why are they stationed in the Middle East? You can see Iran is surrounded by US military bases, so who's the threat? You're going into their territory, and then you're saying that America is in danger from Iran, but you place yourself there. It's as if you go into the lion's den and you complain to the lions that they are in danger to us when you go provoke them. So it doesn't make any sense.
As well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October.
Bro, you literally went into Iraq and Afghanistan and destroyed the whole country. Who did that, Iran or you? Or the US?
7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before.
something like the world have never seen before. There've been a genocide stream to the whole world for the last 2 years. Baby blown off to pieces, women blown off to pieces. And you're gonna say that something like people being kidnapped is something that we've never seen before?
Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had an actually...
So as you can see, it's almost verbatim, word for word, what the Asian professor predicted last year. So, I mean, you can clearly see they're so predictable. Like, it's so... Their excuses is so much of a force that it's predictable word for word. And what's even, like, more, I would say, like, kind of ridiculous or impressive is that he predicted, like, the speech. You know, he didn't predict what the administration or what the media would say. He predicted the speech that Donald Trump would give before attacking Iran. So, I mean, when you are that predictable, the agenda, it's pretty clear. Like, you're making your agenda pretty clear to the world for people to see.
Program at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. Decades and decades, they've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our...
The U.S. withdraw from the nuclear deal in 2018. So this is like such gaslighting at a like basic level, you know? Like, they're not even convincing at all whatsoever. They withdrew from the nuclear deal in 2018 when Iran was complying, you know? They were complying to the T, and you withdrew because you knew all along you had the ambition to top the government there.
Good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message.
Yeah, imagine having the nuclear weapon and being emboldened. Just like Israel, maybe, huh? Who doesn't hesitate to strike any country they want without any fear of repercussion. Because Big Daddy America is there to protect them, right?
For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so...
Here we have Trump saying that Iran would no longer terrorize the world. But have you guys ever heard of any news except the Western media, or like not even the Western media, but except the US media where Iran is doing something wrong? Like, is there any news around the world where they talk about Iran doing something wrong? Like, I have never seen such news. I've only seen propaganda from the US and perhaps Israel, you know? But other than those two countries, like, you're saying Iran is a threat to the world, but why nobody talks about it if Iran is such a big threat? But on the contrary, I'm pretty sure Israel and the US are always in the media all around the world. Anyways, let's continue.
Gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
Haven't you destroyed their nuclear facilities back in June? I thought that was a successful mission. You know, didn't you boast about it all over the media?
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration.
Yeah, you rebuilt. In the US, always invested nearly, $1 trillion a year, like in their military. So what have you rebuilt exactly? Like, don't act as if the US military was lacking when I think the military budget of the US, it's more than all the rest of the world combined. Just to tell you how much the US invests in its military. So don't come here and try to gaslight us into saying that you're so tough and so bad that you rebuilt the military. Like, shut up, dog.
And there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war.
So I hope by now, guys, understand that you can trust nothing that come out of this politician mouth, especially not Donald Trump, especially not what comes out of Israel. They're all a bunch of liars and gaslighters and manipulators. They accuse everybody of doing what they are doing, you know? So this is like truly a evil regime.
But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future.
Yeah, you're doing all of it for Israel. Like, it doesn't benefit the US at all. It doesn't benefit the Western countries. It doesn't benefit no one except one country, and that's Israel, you know? And the US is going to war for them. The American taxpayers are paying for this for absolutely no reason, because it's all a corrupt country.
And it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with His help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms.
Lay down the arm, but on the first strike of Israel, they killed what, 60 elementary school girl student? 60 on the first day of striking. Were they armed, or are you still gonna use the same BS excuse that they were a human shield, or, well, what's the deal exactly? All all a bunch of liars. Lay down the arms. I mean, you're gonna go down the country with troops and see who has weapons or not, or you're just gonna bombard. Like, if you're bombarding, how are you gonna see who lay down the arms or not?
You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
This will be it for today, guys. As you can see, this is exactly what Professor Jiang predicted 2 years ago, just to show you guys how their agenda is so like out in the open, you know? So, like, I mean, why even bothering with propaganda when, like, you're so predictable? Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. See you guys soon for another one.